sparks the screen. She's a straight shooter, if you know what I mean. Dishing out the truth about the royal scene with a fist of fire and a voice so keen. Hitting hard with those alter bridge vibes, no sugarcoating, no false alibis. Tearing down the lies she despises. Yorkshire lass with fire in her eyes. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. In a sea of fake, she's a beacon bright, unraveling the drama without a fright. Armored with honesty, ready to fight. Injustice quivers at her sight. Unbreakable will won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines. Won't be confined. Mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital vine. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to a very special edition of the Daily Nerd Live, because, oh my goodness, the news that's come out in the last 24 hours, yeah, I'm eating my hat right now. I never thought in a zillion years I would be in this position where I'd be saying, for some reason, that Netflix is keeping them on. Why? Oh, we're going to get into all of that. This is Meghan Markle's new Netflix contract, the hidden details that you have missed, guys, involving the Bidens, Obamas, and so much more. So let me give you a little bit of a rundown as to what's coming up for this very extra special Daily Nerd Live for Tuesday, the 12th of August, 2025. First and foremost, we're going to get into the K connection. How are the Kardashians connected to this new deal? Guys, oh my goodness, seriously, this is why yesterday I didn't pounce and just create a video straight away when this news broke, that Meghan has got a new deal with Netflix, because I thought, there's something more to this. And guys, there is. So we're going to get into that first. Then we're going to get into this first look deal malarkey. Let's put it this way, guys. It's not the win that Meghan has are trying to make it out to be in the media. So I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to go into a little bit behind the scenes as to how Hollywood works and what first look deals actually are. So we're going to get into all of that. Then, guys, yes, the Obama and Biden link. How do the Obamas and Bidens enter the chat here? Oh, they do. They really, really do, guys. So we're going to get into that in my investigation deep dive. Then, Megsy, meet Meghan, otherwise known as Meghan the Stallion. Yeah, you heard right. You don't need to wash out your ear holes. Meghan the Stallion is a cautionary tale, actually, for the Gruesome Twosome's new Netflix deal. Why? I'm going to get into all of that. And then finally, something that definitely isn't being discussed as widely as I think it should be, my humble opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, is Megsy's brand. As never, as I like to call it now. Where does Megsy's business partnership with Netflix now stand with her brand as ever, now that Netflix has changed their deal to this whole first look deal? What's going on? Interestingly, as never, isn't mentioned anywhere in this whole PR exercise of Hazza and Megsy announcing they've got a new deal with Netflix. Why is that? What the deuce is going on? So that is the full rundown as to what I'm going to go through today for this Daily Nerd special live stream for you all. Meghan Markle's new Netflix contract, the hidden details that you missed. And guys, there's a lot of hidden details. I'm going to break them open for you, expose them all. You guys can let me know in the live chat, whether you're watching on YouTube or on X, what you guys think to my research as we go through it all. Before we start, though, let's say hi to a few of you. Hey up, for those in the YouTube live chat, first and foremost, hey up, Sarge. I salute you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining, especially where you are at the moment. It's got to be pretty early in the morning there. Damn, 4 a.m.? I appreciate your dedication to the cause. Thank you so much. 4 a.m. OMG. Hi, Steph, Georgie, and Olivia say hi. Oh, hi, Georgie and Olivia. How y'all doing? Diane Marsh, hey up all, made the live stream. Yes! I'm so happy you guys made the live stream. Oh, we've got the General Scott in the chat. Hey up, General. How's it going? Oh my goodness. We also have Flapper27 in the chat. Hey up, Flapper27. How's it going, my friend? How's it going? Linda Anderson says some of the YouTubers are doing good research. Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll approve of my research that I'm going to be going through with you guys in a moment. So please do stay tuned. But Diane is asking here, are Netflix nuts? On the face of it, yeah. But actually, they've been very clever. I'm going to get into it shortly. I promise you. Also, as well, Jeannie Rake, thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 47 months. The proper OG of the community. Thank you so much, honey. It says, LOL, wash out your ear holes. Proud to be a nerd trooper. Oh yeah, Steph is the best, so are you in the chat. Oh, thank you. And Jean Rick found my favourite. Yay, my favourite super chat sticker. It's the Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. And for those that don't know, this is a ginger doggy and the art's coming from tail. And when you lift the tail from doggy, what's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a Ginger Doggy Fighting Arts moment. You'll never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You're very welcome. Thank you so much. Mason Bennett, thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 22 months, saying, love this channel, looking amazing. Aw. My mum Sarah loves you. She's watching. Hey up, Sarah. Hey up, Mason's mum. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. And here we've also got some Jean Rick coming in, gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leader, courtesy of Jean Rick. In the meantime, shall we crack into this? I think we should, shouldn't we? So, as I get prepared here, I'm a little bit excited and nervous about this one because I'm actually quite proud of everything that I've brought together for you all. So let's get into it. Okay, so Meghan Markle's new Netflix contract, the hidden details that you missed. That was a great start, wasn't it, guys? And for those watching right now, if any of you guys in the meantime send super chat sticker, member only chat, I'll get to you guys as and when I can whilst I'm going through the story for today's Daily Nerd Live special. So here we go. Let's get into, first and foremost, the K connection. How are the Kardashians connected to this new deal? Now, firstly, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of you guys are missing the manipulative lead up to the announcement in the press that Harry and Meghan have signed a new first look deal with Netflix. Why? Because this is all my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, right? Harry and Meghan wanted to make sure that the news feed was flooded with positive press. And what better way to try and do it, first and foremost, but with the Kardashians? Because what have we heard over the last couple of days? Banged around our heads time and time and time again, right? Look, the Kardashians, they're on Instagram and they're promoting Meghan's stuff and her wine and this, that, and the other, blah, 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 right? The timing of that has not escaped me. Because right after that, all that press of the Kardashians promoting her gear, this, that, and the other, all of a sudden, we then get straight after the announcement that Netflix has offered them a new first look deal that they've signed. So firstly, people are missing the manipulative lead up to this particular announcement of the first look deal in the press. And there is, first and foremost, the K connection, the Kardashian connection. Now, as Stephanie Sidley from the Sidley twins says right here, you'd have to be the dumbest person on the planet to have the Kardashians promote your brand. Yep. Why? Because when they've promoted brands, the Kardashians, where they've been proper dodgy. Proper dodgy. Here, Kim Kardashian, Jamila Jamal Food has done more to expose detox tea lies than the FDA. FDA is once again keeping up with the Kardashians. Cautionary tale involving endorsement, testimonials, and influencer marketing. The FDA issued a warning letter to a drug maker that was endorsed by Kim K. Here's another headline. How many times have the Kardashians tried to sell us dodgy health products? Well, I got a new question. How many times has the Kardashians tried to sell us dodgy rosé wine? Once at least comes to mind. That's for damn certain. So this is the thing, right? We all know at this point, after all that positive press with Meghan and the Kardashians already in play, it's then announced that Meghan and Harry miraculously have a new deal with Netflix. All to try and build on the positive press Meghan has had over the past couple of days with the Kardashians. However, if she thinks that all this positive press to the lead up to this Netflix announcement would make people celebrate her new Netflix deal, without looking into it further and just taking a word for it, yeah, she needs to think again. So let's get into this first look deal malarkey. What does it actually mean? Because a lot of you guys out there may be hearing this first look deal term for the first time ever. A lot of you guys may know about it, but only on the surface and not really too much underneath or all like that. Let me put it this way. This first look deal situation is not the win that Meghan and Harry are trying to make it out to be. So let's get into what Meghan is trying to hide. Part 1. What she doesn't want you to know about the dark side to this Netflix deal, because not all is what it seems. It has been downgraded. It has been watered down, as the Hollywood Reporter is saying here. It is shocking, though, that they have announced somewhat of a new deal, even for me. Like I said right at the beginning, I'm eating my hat right now. I would have bet £1 million freaking pounds that they were not going to renew, that Netflix was going to drop them, and then that was it. Now, I was that certain, just like Opinion Russian says here, These companies have such high standards for everyone else. But when it comes to Meghan and Harry, they can produce almost childish trash and get deal after deal. If anyone else produced such crap as Meghan's first few episodes, they would have been fired and the show would have been pulled. Now, the key phrase here that everyone really, really needs to focus on in this announcement is this first look deal situation, all right? Now, this is the kicker. What does a first look deal actually mean? And what does it actually mean for Hazard and Megxie? And so here's a little bit of information for you guys. So in Hollywood, a first look deal grants a production company or studio the exclusive rights to review and potentially acquire a writer or producer's new projects before they're offered to other buyers. Essentially, the buyer gets first dibs on the content, and in exchange, the writer or producer receives a development fee or other compensation. So, in other words, Netflix gets first dibs on any content ideas that Hazard and Megxie have got. Hazard and Megxie pitch it to Netflix, and Netflix then decides whether they want to accept or pass on it. And they'll only get money from Netflix if Netflix accepts it. So going into this a little bit more, okay, detailed breakdown. A first look deal is an agreement where a production company or studio pays a writer or another production company for the right to review their new projects before anyone else. So how does it work? So Netflix, in this regard, has a set period of time to review the projects. If they like what they see, they can then make an offer to acquire or distribute the project that Hazard and Megxie are proposing. If they pass, then Hazard and Megxie, yeah, they're in the wilderness trying to get someone else to buy instead. And so the benefits for Netflix here is that it secures access to potential hits and established talent, allowing them to cherry pick projects before the competitors. So when you think about it, in the grand scheme of things, this is not the best deal in the whole wide world that Hazard and Megxie are trying to make it out to be. It's definitely not a win for them, because essentially Netflix are not forced now to accept any projects anymore that Hazard and Megxie come up with. Instead, Netflix has to meet with them, Megxie and Hazard pitch the idea, then Netflix decide whether they're going to make it or not. In that process, there's nigh on zero money that Hazard and Megxie will earn from that. At all. Now, as Brittany over on Royal News Network is saying, time will tell how this new Netflix era with the gruesome twosome will pan out. And as HRH Lady J says here, and this I'm just, kind of picking out a little bit of a tweet here on X, but guys, follow her because what she writes here is absolute fire, guys, okay? What HRH Lady J says here is quite important. This shift is not a triumph, but a pragmatic recalibration, a clear reminder that streaming platforms demand measurable audience engagement over celebrity alone. This stark downgrade from a headline-grabbing multi-million-dollar overall deal to a conditional first-look agreement is a public and unmistakable signal. The Sussex brand star power alone no longer guarantees success or financial security in the cutthroat streaming market. Netflix retreat underscores the brutal reality that celebrity status cannot substitute for consistent audience engagement and commercial viability. Harry and Meghan are now firmly on notice. Without compelling market-driven content, their media ambitions face serious limitations. Ultimately, the Sussex's Netflix journey reveals the unforgiving nature of entertainment business dynamics. Promises and PR spin can only carry so far before bottom-line performance dictates the terms. This is a cautionary tale of how inflated expectations and misplaced confidence must give way to hard metrics and accountability. For the Sussexes, the era of guaranteed largesse has ended. Now, every project must prove its worth. or risk being just another missed opportunity in a fiercely competitive landscape. Yeah. So overall, before we get on to the next section here of the hidden details that you missed with this whole announcement of this new deal, this whole first look element of it all, it's not the win that Harry and Meghan are trying to make it out to be. It really, really isn't. They've been demoted. It's been watered down. It's been downgraded. They're all freaking caboodle. And essentially, they don't make any money off of this deal until they pitch something to Netflix and Netflix agrees to it. Oh, yeah. That $100 million contract that they had, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Now, let's get into how the Obamas enter the narrative in this whole story. Because I've seen quite a few headlines like this. Their deal has been likened to a similar deal that the Obamas actually have with Netflix. Now, in June 2024, it was announced, a little bit of Groundhog Day here, that the Obamas signed a first look deal with Netflix, extending their partnership similar to Harry and Meghan. However, the difference here is that the Obamas aren't grifters that Meghan and Harry are, right? They are actually showing up and actually doing the work. As you can see right here. So since June 2024, when the Obamas signed that first look deal, the Higher Ground Productions company have got several projects in development and production, including a docuseries about the 2024 Olympic basketball event and a series called Starting Five, following NBA stars like LeBron James and Jimmy Butler. Additionally, they're working on a film adaptation of S.A. Cosby's novel All the Sinners Bleed and a biopic of Frederick Douglass. And so this first look deal that Harry and Meghan are now in with Netflix could see them produce content on a scale like the Obamas. However, Megan Thee Stallion now enters the narrative in all of this, because I've got a feeling it's going to be the same as this well-known rapper here instead, Megan Thee Stallion. Because back in 2021, she actually signed a first look deal with Netflix. Does that ring a bell? And since then, what has she actually done for the platform? Well, the only thing that she's actually produced is one project that's set to be released reportedly this year, as you can see on IMDb right here. Now, the project that she's producing is called K-Popped, right? Thing is, though, K-Popped isn't being released on Netflix. It's being released on Apple TV. You see it right there. And so, as Royally Sage says right here, the Netflix deal is not the same deal they got before. It's a face saving for Ted Sarandos and the Markles, but they are only doing first look. The Markles now have to do even more of the work to get their shows off the ground. We called it. So ultimately, Meghan and Harry are hyping this new deal with Netflix, but it's not the win that they're making it out to be. It's no new contract, no extension. It's just a first look option. And just like Megan Thee Stallion, they'll have to work harder than ever before to actually get one of their projects off the ground now in the future. Seeing as it took Megan Thee Stallion about 4 years to get one of her produced shows off the ground, and even then it looks like Netflix have quietly walked away from her, because what she's producing is going on to a rival streamer, Apple. Now this is the thing, right? Linking it to Harry and Meghan, I've got a funny feeling it will take Harry and Meghan longer for any new shows that they bring to the table to actually be greenlit. Or from when the new first look deal officially starts, perhaps we won't see any newly announced shows or ideas at all from them. And their partnership instead with Netflix will just fizzle out, just like it seems to have done with Meghan the Stallion. And do you think in 1 year, Megsy and Azza are going to produce and have in the pipeline as many shows and productions as what the Obamas have got right now? I don't think so. Do you? That's why I think it's going to go the way of Meghan the Stallion. They announced the first look deal to a lot of fanfare, but then nothing really comes out of it at all. And in the end, Meghan the Stallion produces one show, but it's for a rival streamer. And Netflix is nowhere to be seen. It's as if Netflix and Meghan the Stallion have quietly just separated ways after a few years have passed. I see the same thing potentially happening with Hazza and Megsy. And additionally, this first look deal, guys, it's not for the same amount that they got from Netflix before, reportedly. So not only is it a downgrade deal-wise, but it's also an absolute downgrade money-wise for them as well. Here, as Page 6 is reporting, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are extending their Netflix partnership, but we hear their new contract is much less than their previous $100 million deal with the streaming company. An insider told Page 6 on Monday it's not much. It's no risk for Netflix, but saves them both reputationally. Interesting, no? Now, before we go any further, because, I've got even more for you guys, so stay tuned. Bert, thank you so much for joining the Alter Nerd tribe as a leader. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. Hearts in the chat right now for Bert, because they went one step further and actually joined themselves, so thank you so much for that. In the meantime, let's crack on. Because, in the meantime, Megsy is dropping season 1, part 2 of her show. This month it has now been announced. Oh, and holiday special as well, which it's been reported is going to be in direct competition with Princess Catherine's holiday special that she does every year. What a coincidence, right? This is the thing. Those projects that all of a sudden have been announced in the wake of this new first look deal being confirmed in the press. Yeah, all those projects, they were all greenlit, produced and filmed before the new first look deal comes into play. Yeah. And so speaking of this new first look deal, why would Netflix want to keep the gruesome twosome on, even in spite of their bad performance in the majority of their projects that they've released on that platform? And so here, you've got Shauna from the Vintage Read Show. Make sure you subscribe to Shauna on the Vintage Read Show. She does some really cool interviews on her channel. She says, first look deal, this is the deal you have when you're dumped, but the entity you dumped has FOMO, fear of missing out. And Queer Lips of Truth, the second, is a real life example for us all. Let's enter here. Sorry. Here we go. Let me give you the sorry. Let me get the right page on there. Apologies there. Yeah, Queer Lips of Truth the second is a real life example. Just in case you're wondering why Netflix has the first look deal with Meghan Markle. And the Bidens are now entering the chat. Now, before we go any further with that, MPNG Creed Menace, thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks. Appreciate your face. Saying, hey up, Steph, nobody wants to be near them too. Even Lucifer doesn't want them. I know, right? And Diane Marsh, thank you so much for that very generous $5 sugar bucks. Appreciate your face. Thank you so much. And so the Bidens are now entering the chat. Why? Well, this is the thing, right? As Shauna from Vintage Read was saying, they don't want to suffer from FOMO. But why would they potentially suffer from FOMO, the fear of missing out? Well, they want to make sure that they don't miss out on the divorce story when Hazza and Megsy do eventually split up. Here, Maria Montessori on X shares this from the unsuccessful Duchess. A little bit of a mouthful there. As predicted, I think Netflix is hanging on for the divorce story. Will it happen? Who knows? But now they get first crack if it does. And Harry and Meghan now have to front all production costs. And Netflix can kick literally everything to the curb until they get the project that they want. In my opinion, this was not smart of the Markles to sign this deal. They have no leverage, and they just knocked themselves out of a bidding war. If they did divorce, they should have watched a few YouTubers, since everyone was saying a first look deal would be insulting and stupid from their end. But Netflix now has a lock on the project they really want if the divorce happens, in my opinion. And yeah, even I've said that, right? If somehow they entered into a first look deal with Netflix, which is happening now, then they've screwed themselves. And Meg's screwed herself somewhat proper. Because when they do divorce, and it might be a conspiracy theory, whatever, it's not if, but when, she is forced by her contract to have to go to Netflix first. Instead of, I've got the divorce story, and there'd be an absolute bidding war. She could make 3-4 times as much in that scenario. Instead, she's now limited herself to Netflix having first refusal of a divorce story. Do you think they're going to refuse that? I don't freaking think so, do you? Now, this is where the Bidens now enter the chat, enter the narrative here. Because Queer Lips of Truth II has a real-life example for us all of Netflix not wanting to miss out and not wanting to suffer from FOMO when it comes to divorces of high-profile people and celebrities, right? Here we go. Queer Lips of Truth II saying, just in case you're wondering why Netflix has the first look deal with Meghan Markle. And he's sharing this article of former first daughter Ashley Biden. Yes, the same Ashley that Hazza and Megxie, through the Archewell Foundation, donated $250,000 to her charity foundation, whatever the frick you want to call it. Yeah, that same Ashley Biden has now filed for divorce from husband of 13 years, Dr. Howard Crine. And if I've mispronounced his last name, I really do apologise. And this is the thing, right? The Bidens, they are heavily linked to Netflix. As a Netflix co-founder, Reed Hastings is one of the biggest Democratic donors ever. And so I wonder if he's now going to call in a massive favour that the Bidens owe him, right? He calls the Bidens, he's like, yo, dudes. I'm trying to do my best Netflix CEO impression right now. I'm probably failing, but let's go on with it anyhow. Yo, dudes, yo, Bidens. I heard Ashley's getting divorced. You remember all the billions that I've donated to, like, your campaign and the Democratic Party and all that lot? Well, it's time to call in the favour that you guys owe me. We want first look and refusal of Ashley Biden's divorce drama. You don't think Reed Hastings would hesitate doing that? After it's announced that he is one of the biggest Democratic donors for the party, how much he would have given to the Biden cause? Come on. And so, bringing this all back to Megxie here, right? We do know that from the Vanity Fair article that was released at the beginning of this year, that Megxie pitched a book about her life post-divorce from Harry. And perhaps she also pitched this to Netflix as well. So maybe they don't want to miss out on the Hazza and Megxie divorce when it happens, just like they wouldn't want to miss out on the now Ashley Biden divorce. Or, as according to Taz, says right here, translation, we're giving them the bare minimum, so when Meghan dumps Harry, we'll be waiting in the wings for her tell-all about her ex-husband-to-be. Makes more sense, doesn't it? Netflix aren't freaking interested in any idea that Hazza and Megxie bring to the table, really, at the end of the day. They're really, really not. At all. If they were, we would have seen Meet Me at the Lake by now. But instead, during this whole PR exercise they're getting on at the moment, they're like, oh yeah, Meet Me at the Lake, still coming. Well, it would have been here by now because it was announced like a couple of years ago. What's going on with that? Yeah, Netflix ain't interested in any of their shiz anymore other than when they divorce. And that will be a seismic event that would happen. You think Netflix wants to miss out on that? Oh, no, 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 no. So they're investing now to get in first, to make sure they're the first that Azza and Megxie have to go to when they want to produce any series or what's it on their divorce. Now, let's get into the final piece of the puzzle. As ever, Megxie's brand. In the meantime, what is happening with Megxie's brand? This is another aspect that not that many people are discussing here, and potentially a hidden detail that you guys have missed. Because as we all know, Netflix is a business partner in her brand. But how will this new first look deal affect their relationship? Well, it's interesting, as Nancy Sidley is pointing out right here, that from this PR release from Archewell Productions, it makes no mention of Netflix continuing their business relationship with As Ever. As Ever is completely forgotten when it comes to all of this. Which is interesting when Megxie has made an absolute song and dance that she's in a business relationship with Netflix. Now, really interestingly enough, when you go onto the As Ever Instagram page, there's no mention there of their partnership with Netflix continuing alongside this new first look agreement. Also as well, on the As Ever website, under the press releases, nothing mentioned there either. And perhaps, you know what? They've quietly gone their separate ways when it comes to As Ever. Seeing as her latest drop failed to sell out, proving that there is really no demand for Megxie's As Ever products, that her previous drops were just manufactured sellouts, manufactured along the lines of, it's suspected, she only was selling a very, very small amount of everything that would guarantee a sellout. Now she's got stock behind her. Now is the true test as to whether people are interested in her products and in her brand, and they just simply aren't. Her wine didn't sell out. It's done. It's over. So just like earlier on when I told you about Meghan the Stallion 3-4 years ago, signing that first look deal with Netflix, and it seems that they've now quietly gone their separate ways because she now has a produced show on a rival streamer, i.e. Apple. Perhaps this is what we're now seeing with Megxie, Netflix, and As Ever. That Megxie and Netflix are quietly going their separate ways. Because the latest drop failed to sell out, proving that there is no demand for Megxie's As Ever products or her brand. Which I've always said is a problem for Megxie. Because people do not like Megxie and do not trust her and do not relate to her. So if people don't like, trust and relate to Megxie, then people aren't going to like, trust and relate to anything she's trying to sell us in the first place, including her brand. She has, as Martha Stewart recently said, an authenticity problem. And maybe Netflix has woken up, smelled the roses, said, all right, this was a little bit of an experiment for us. It's not working. Goodbye. Because it's very, very interesting. In this whole kit and caboodle of this announcement that Hazza and Megxie have got a first look deal with Netflix, that nothing is also mentioned about her As Ever brand, if that will continue. You'd think Megxie, right, being Megxie, she'd be like trying to parade the win for all it's worth, try to milk it for all it's worth, and be like, we got the first look deal with Netflix, we're continuing our relationship with Netflix, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and by the way, they're really, really happy with what As Ever is going with at the moment, so they're going to continue to be my business partner as well with As Ever, blah, 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 and do a double whammy. And be like, I'm winning in the content sphere with Netflix, and I'm also winning the brand sphere with Netflix as well. But no, she's not doing that. For an alleged narcissistic nutbag from hell, you got to think, why? Why? And as I mentioned, as they may have quietly walked away from the As Ever partnership, perhaps ultimately Netflix will also quietly walk away from the gruesome twosome content-wise, just like they seem to have done with Meghan the Stallion. Guys, that is my investigation. That is my deep dive. Meghan Markle's new Netflix contract, the hidden details that you guys missed. What did you think? It's a lot. There's a lot of pieces that I've, put together and made a jigsaw out of. What do you guys think? For those watching live right now, stay exactly where you are. I'm not done with you guys yet. But if you haven't done so already, do make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe on YouTube. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef The Alter Nerd for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you think to the hidden details that you missed that I have now made you aware of? What do you guys think? If you're watching on the replay, let me know in the comments down below. If you're watching live, let me know in the live chat. I'm going to be chatting to you guys in the live chat for the next 5-10 minutes. So anyone that sends super chat sticker, member only chat, your chats are guaranteed to be read. Anyone else, I'll just pick and choose what stands out to me, but your chats are not guaranteed to be read. So please do bear that in mind. In the meantime, let's have a gander and see what you're saying in the chat. Sarah S says she's blackmailing Ted. There's no better explanation. Okay, but what would she be blackmailing him with? What would she be blackmailing him with? Is my question. Ted Sarandon is a pretty powerful dude in Hollywood. She would have to have something pretty massive to be able to blackmail someone like that in Hollywood. I doubt she'd have anything that strong over someone like that. I may be wrong, of course. Don't get me, don't get me mistaken there. But still, I don't know about that one. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Esther Averill. Hey up, Esther says Netflix could have shot themselves in the foot if the Harkles are made to sign an NDA as part of the divorce. Yeah, so this is a thing, right? When it comes to the upcoming divorce, it could go one of two ways. And you look at history, you look at the historical precedent of more recent royal divorces of our time. The two big massive ones is obviously the Princess Diana and then Prince Charles divorce, but also as well Fergie and Prince Andrew's divorce. Now, it's a tale of two halves. With Princess Diana's divorce, she signed an NDA, but she got a massive payout, reportedly approximately about 20 million, right? With Fergie and Prince Andrew's divorce, she didn't sign an NDA, but it meant that A, she got a lesser payout from the royal family, reportedly about 2-3 million or something like that. B, it also then meant that because she didn't sign an NDA, she could then publicly comment on her life in the royal family, which she did, right? She released a book and she's continually talked about the royal family, trying to make money out of them back in the day, that kind of thing. So, which way would Megsy go when she does divorce Hazard in the end, as far as I'm concerned? Is she going to go the way of Princess Diana and cosplay her right to the end, sign the NDA and get the higher payout from the royal family? Or is she going to forget that she loves cosplaying Princess Diana and go the Fergie route? Not sign the NDA, get a lesser payout from the royal family, but take her chances to make even more money by selling her story in the media and in Hollywood. You see, I think she'd go for the Fergie route. Especially when, at the beginning of this year, as I mentioned in my investigation earlier on, Vanity Fair exposed this notion that Megsy was shopping a post-divorce book. So, yeah, no, I doubt there will be an NDA signed. I doubt Meghan will sign an NDA. Moreover, I think she'd turn around and she'd be like, I'm an American. We have the First Amendment here, freedom of speech, this, that, and the other. You can't muzzle me, blah, blah, blah. She'll throw it back in their faces. That is one thing, just on a side note, I'm really, really jealous of you Americans on. You guys have the First Amendment. We don't. Look at what's going on in the UK right now. It's an absolute real life nightmare. It's insane. Anywho, let's get back to the regular scheduling program of the gruesome twosome. Angela Jacobi, hey up Angela, thank you so much for gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leader, courtesy of Angela. And guys, that only means one thing. Today's gifting wars have officially begun. So thank you so much to Angela for kicking off today's gifting wars. Appreciate your face, Angela. Thank you so much. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Sarge says, when the divorce happens, there will be a Sussex squad civil war. I won't be surprised. Yeah. I won't be surprised at all. Which side do you think they take? Now, that's an interesting question. Which side do you think the Sussex squad will take the most? Megsy or Hazzers? Now, I think it'd be Megsy. I think they'll take Megsy's side. Megsy, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, will play the victim, will demonize Hazard, lump him in with the rest of Royal Family and continue to demonize them as well, as per her MO, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. And the Sussex squad, being morons that they are, will just eat it all up like catnip and follow their Duchess into freaking oblivion. Go forth, morons, go forth. So, yeah. It's a very, very interesting question. Yeah, I think they'll side with Megsy. Megsy will manipulate the situation where they side with her. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. And if any of the morons are lurking, and we know they do. Hi, morons! How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in and getting a little bit of a dose of reality into your life, even though you may quickly reject it. But anywho, let's see what else you guys are saying. I'm just scrolling down at the moment. Again, as I said, anyone that sends super chat sticker, member only chats, your chats are guaranteed to be read. Anyone else, I'll just pick and choose what sticks out to me. But your chats are not guaranteed to be read. So please do bear that in mind. As I'm looking at what you guys are saying in the live chat, I'm just doing a little thing behind the scenes for this stream here. Just one moment. Okay. Let's see. Lynn Simmons says Netflix have to somehow recoup some of the money they wasted on the two tosspots. Now, interesting you mentioned that, Lynn. I'm just going to go onto my channel right now because I did another extra special Stef Investigates. Yeah, here it is. It was 3 weeks ago now, and it was this one right here. Exclusive. Meghan Markle's Netflix deal is a shocking tax break scheme. Watch it. Watch it. I provide you guys information whereby there is a way that Netflix is getting back their money, but it's not in the way that you guys think at all. Watch it. It's a very, very clever way for Netflix to get their money back if they are doing it, which I suspect is what they are. They are. Let's see. Animalian01 says, I don't think there'll be a civil war in the squad. They will just go after Hazard. Yeah. There will be a certain element of a civil war within the Sussex squad because there will be some that will side with Hazard, but I think on the large part, they'll just side essentially with Megsy. Flapper27 in the chat. Oh my goodness. Wow. Dude, thank you so much. gifting a whopping 10 new leaderships to some of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey, up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Flapper27. And I'm asking the chat for Flapper27 right now because, my goodness, they show up every single time and do something insanely generous like this. Thank you so, so much. My goodness. Wow, we're already on a whopping 13 new leaders for today's stream. We're just 2 more away from rounding it off to 15 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, this ain't how you do a gifting war? This is how you do a gifting war. Guys, we may soon find out. We may soon find out. Oh, Ginny May, wish I had the money. No. You never have to ever say anything like that. Oh, my goodness. No. I'm just lucky enough that you guys just tune in. And that you interact with me, that you subscribe, that you like. Do you know what? Look, as long as, right, you subscribe to my channel, that you like this stream, and that you comment every now and then, you know, more than enough. It really, really is more than enough. You know, the extra sugar books, it just really, really helps in terms of me being able to do this full time and give you this content. And do this as an actual job. So Judy May, no, thank you so much for tuning in the first place. I really do appreciate it. Denise Kadekas, thank you so much for the $4 sugar bucks. And Mr. Greenblob being like, here's a cup of Jojo. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'd rather have Coca-Cola Zero instead. Not sponsored, but I wouldn't say no. So there we go on that one. Lubricate my thought there. There we are. Ian Holmes is enjoying the show. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Lynn Simmons, thank you so much for the £3 sugar bucks. And Mr. Greenblob with the thumbs up. Appreciate the thumbs up. Thank you so, so much. See. Kathy says, I tried to read the book Meet Me at the Lake. I only got to page 6 and had to shut it down. It's awful. I'm not surprised. It's now linked to Hazard and Megsy. Of course, it's going to be awful. Oh, my goodness. Lynn Simmons says, Steph, a few months back, Ted Sarandos was quoted as saying his legs turn a jelly when in Megsy's presence. It makes you wonder. Maybe. Would he be so brazen to say that whilst at the same time doing something with Megsy that maybe he shouldn't be doing with or whatever? I don't know. Allegedly, who knows? Just asking for a friend. I think he'd be much smarter than that. Surely. Right, guys? Who knows? But you know what? Whilst we're here, I do want to ask you this question. When, not if, but when Hazard and Megsy divorce, who do you think they're going to side with the most? Will they side with Megsy the most or Hazard the most? What do you guys think? If you're watching right now live on YouTube, let me know in the live chat. If you're watching live on X, let me know in the live chat on X there. And if you watched on the replay and you got this far, let me know in the comments down below. Who do you think the Sussex squad would side with the most? Megsy or Hazard? Do you agree with me and think it would be Megsy, or do you disagree and think it would be Hazard? Let me know, and why? Why do you choose who you chose? If that makes sense, that question. So, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? Flapper27 says, I wonder if Megsy has even read the book. Yeah, no. No, I don't think so. I do not think that how do I put this? I don't think Megsy would have read the book. Why? Well, let's put it this way. She's been called an effing grifter by Spotify. She only donates an hour a week to Archewell Foundation. Seems to be a little bit work shy from what we gather. You think she's read that book? No, she'll have someone else read the book for her. She'll have the cliff notes and then go from there. Opinion conspiracy theory, whatever. See, Lisa Boo says, I think they'll side with Megxie. Animalian01 says they'll side with Meghan without a shadow of a doubt. The Sarge says they'll side with Meghan the narcissist. Yeah. General says they'll choose the one that's still relevant. Interesting. Carol says it'll be Megxie. That's the mountain they would die on. Head Mod says probably Megzilla. Lynn Simmons. Now this I can see happening. The Sussex squad will terrorize Henry when he divorces Rachel. They are that twisted. Yeah, I would say so, yeah. Gizzard1930 says they'll side with Megxie. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I still love that name you've got there. Says definitely Megxie because she controls them. Yeah, because there's that rumour, isn't there? Opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. That Megxie pays them. Or pays a few generals to then order the minions and all that lot. It's only a rumour, conspiracy theory, whatever situation. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually really happening, to be fair. But yeah, with that being said, guys, we're coming up to the end of this extra special Daily Nerd live stream. The amount of information that I found with this new Netflix deal, I was like, do you know what? It's better if I did a live stream and we all get to discuss it together as I provide you with the details and it all unfolds in front of your eyes. But what do you guys think to my deep dive investigation? Do you want to see more of these? So for those that are watching right now, whether live on the replay, do make sure on your way out you are subscribed to join our Alter Nerd tribe for more misadventures of the gruesome twosome. If you're watching on X, make sure you're following me at Stef Alter Nerd. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. What do you think to all the hidden details that I've now just shown you that you may have missed when it comes to Megxie's new Netflix deal? Essentially, details she doesn't want you to know. What do you guys think to it all? Let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. More content coming tomorrow as ever. But until the next time, you guys, laters.